Hey, Brooks Scholars, welcome back to Remote Learning with me, Mr. Scott. How are you? Happy Friday. It's a little bit rainy out there today, isn't it? Well, don't worry because I've got some fantastic reading work that we can do together today. But first, before we get into that, I just want to say how excited I am for Monday and starting next week. We're moving to Seesaw. It's going to be incredible. Thank you to all those people that have already logged in and have done one or two of the assignments up there. So starting Monday morning at 8 a.m., all of the lessons for that day are going to be up and they're going to be ready to go. I cannot wait to see all of your work. I miss seeing you and working with you guys so much. I just want to show you what I see when I go on to Seesaw. Just to give some quick shout outs here. We got a lovely exit ticket from Leah. Shout out to Leah. Thank you for that, my friend. Doing some word study. Josiah's done some awesome work with writing. And what else do we have here? We've got Sydney. Is that Sydney's? No, sorry, that's Josiah. I do have Sydney in here. Something nice from Victoria. Shout out to Stephen, who's been uploading videos and stuff too as well. So that's going to be great. Can't wait to see all of the wonderful work that we get on Monday. And I'm going to be writing back. You're going to see little comments at the bottom. I'm going to write back to as many as I can, saying, shouting out some highlights of things that are good, and then maybe one or two things that you can work on to make your work even better. So that's Seesaw coming Monday. But first, let's get into this. What genre is this? Yes, you're right. It's a poem. Well, how do we know that it's a poem? Well, it's not that it rhymes. Now, I can tell you this poem does have a rhyme scheme. However, remember that poems are not poems just because they rhyme. You can have a poem not have any rhyme scheme whatsoever. A poem is only considered a poem if it is written in verses and stanzas. Verse, stanza means the same thing. You can use them interchangeably. So you can see here that there's a nice break in between each one of these stanzas. There's quite a few. I'm going to read it first, and then we're going to get into this thing and answer some questions. Here we go. Morning on the Beach by Leo J. Molnar. The sun was rising in the east. It barely cleared the trees. The wind was blowing from the west, a soft and gentle breeze. I walked along the lovely beach, just taking in the sights, and passed by people hunting shells, some youngsters flying kites. Rolling waves came into shore and surged up on the beach, while sand crabs scampered in their holes as far as they could reach. And sandpipers in unison moved left and then to right. Their movement was so magical, it was a pretty sight. They searched for critters in the sand until the surf approached, then turned and briskly walked away as though they all were coached. Giant tracts of loggerheads were there, they lay their eggs at night. The turtles then go back to sea before the morning light. And pelicans stood on the dock, they'd sit and wait and look for fishermen to catch a fish, then dive and clean its hook. With seagulls screeching overhead and egrets tall and grand, the beach is such an awesome place, a kingdom in the sand. Fantastic. Wow. Thank you, Leo J. Molnar. Beautiful poem there. Now, when we work with poems, there's a lot of work that we can do. I'm sure some of you saw a poem like this, and part of your brain immediately said, this is a poem. I should number the lines and number the stanzas. Well, I can't really do that using this program that I'm recording these videos on. So what I did was I printed off a copy of the poem, and then I wanted to show you all of the wonderful work that you can do as a reader when you're trying to understand a poem. So here it is. Right away, I listed the genre and put poem right at the top. Then I went through and I numbered all of the lines. Remember, poems do not have sentences; you have lines of poetry. So there were quite a few lines. Turns out there was 32 lines in all. From there, I numbered my stanzas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I went back and forth on stanza and verse because you can use those two words interchangeably. Then what did I do next? I did the rhyme scheme, and I noticed that it has an A, B, C, B rhyme scheme. For example, if we go to stanza 2, it says, beach, sights, shells, kites. Now, when we're figuring out the rhyming pattern in a poem, we know that the first word, what should say, the last word, excuse me, the last word at the first line is going to be an A, and then the next one gets a B here because beach, that long E sound, and a long I sound, sights, does not rhyme. And shells gets C because it doesn't rhyme with beach or sights. But then kites does rhyme with sights, and so we put B. And that pattern continues throughout the entire time. Now remember, just like with any pattern, a pattern is not a pattern until it repeats. Now, let's see how I get out of this slideshow and get back to you guys. Okay, good. Finally, I wrote down that the mood was very peaceful, but then the narrator's feeling is very excited and inspired. And I can tell that by one of the last lines. The narrator says, "The beach is such an awesome place, a kingdom in the sand." So there we are. And this is a perfect example, guys. When you are doing your math work, especially starting on Monday, use pencil and paper. You don't have to have it printed out like I did here, but just get a pencil and paper, or if you've got an expo marker and an easel or a whiteboard, whatever it may be, you can do that work, snap a picture of it, and upload it to Seesaw so that I can see it. I'm going to be giving lots of shout outs to those people that are doing a really wonderful job, taking their time, organizing their work. So that is an example of how you can do the work on pencil and paper, just like I did here. See, here's the poem. Yeah, with all that work, all that delicious, that lovely work on it. Yummy. Okay, good. So that's enough of that. We will get rid of that. We'll come back over here. So we're just gonna have to pretend that I did all of that wonderful work, numbering and labeling and doing all that stuff for the poem. Okay, time now to get to the questions. Let's see what this is all about. Read the line from the poem as though they all were coached. What does the line show about the sandpipers? Okay, now sandpipers. Reminds me of the Disney Pixar short film Piper. It's on, I think it's on Disney Plus if you've got that thing. So, where was it? I believe the sandpipers. Oh, such a pretty sight. Hang on, I see the end of it. It's up here in stanza. What number is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. In the fourth stanza, yeah, the sandpipers. What were those crazy sandpipers doing? And sandpipers in unison moved left and then to right. Their movement was so magical. It was such a pretty sight. And it continues in the next stanza. They searched for critters in the sand until the surf approached, then turned and briskly walked away as though they all were coached. All right. So back we go down here and let's see what's going on. So what does it show about the sandpipers? They seem to be getting stronger. They seem to be playing games with each other. It seems like someone is telling them what to do, or it seems like someone is helping them learn something. Which is the right answer? As though they all were coached. Well, when you're being coached by someone, you're being told what to do. So the answer is C. All right, let's go with like a yellow. We're going with yellow because it kind of looks like a highlighter, and it's a beach. I'm picturing the sun just coming up, right, and the yellow sand. There we go. Anyway, so question 2. Which 2 words from the poem are most alike in meaning? Now, when we know what that is, right? Do you remember that special word that we use when 2 words have the similar meaning? Like large, big, great, enormous, huge, gigantic. What was it? I'll give you a hint. It was either synonyms or it was antonyms. Which one? One's the same meaning. Synonyms. You got it. You got it. You got it. So synonyms. Okay. Soft and gentle, walked and passed, moved and searched, giant and awesome. Which 2 words have similar meaning? Which one? You tell me. Dis-moi, s'il vous plaît. A. Does that look like an A? Not really. I'm trying to make an A. Looks more like a weird triangle thing. Anyway, the answer is A, soft and gentle. Those 2 words have the same meaning. Yes, they do. Soft sound, gentle sound. Yes. All right, next one. The animals in the poem leave the beach before Now I'll try that again. Which animals in the poem leave the beach before the sun comes up? Which ones leave the beach before the sun comes up? Here we go. I think, what is this, stanza 6? Giant tracks of loggerheads were there. They lay their eggs at night. The turtles then go back to sea before the morning light. Now that's definitely the evidence that we're going to need. Let's come back down here. Who was it that left before the sun comes up? The sandpipers, the turtles, the pelicans, or the seagulls? Yes, the turtles. Ooh, those crazy loggerheads. Get back in the ocean, buddies. Good thing we went back and found our evidence, huh? I want to talk to you now about question number 4, which is a lovely little question. Which detail from the poem best tells what the poem is about? Which detail from the poem best tells what the poem is about? Okay, so if we were to choose one line of poetry, remember there are no sentences in poems, it's a line of poetry. If we were to choose one line, what would be the one that best tells what it's all about? The sun was rising in the east, some youngsters flying kites, and pelicans stood on the dock. The beach is such an awesome place. Which one best describes what this poem is all about? What do you think? Answer me. It's D. You're absolutely right. The beach is an awesome place. We know that if you're having to tell what an article is all about, you need to have the main topic. And in this case, it's all about the beach. So we have to have beach in as one of the words in our answers. And so D is the correct answer. Good job, everybody. Let's move on to question 5. Why do the pelicans sit and wait and look? Why do they sit? Oh, I remember this. Why are they sitting and waiting and looking? More importantly, they are looking for something. Is it to see how the fishermen find fish, to show other birds how to get fish, to take fish away from the fishermen, to scare other birds away from the fish? Why are they sitting and waiting and looking? Let's go back. Stanza 7. The pelican stood on the dock. They'd sit and wait and look. Here it comes. Ready? For fishermen to catch a fish, then dive and clean his hook. Clean his hook? Now, that's the evidence. But the author, the poet, I should say, is being a little bit fanciful and saying clean his hook. Now, that doesn't mean that the pelican is flying down to the hook that's on the end of the fisherman's pole and cleaning it. Oh, don't worry, I'll just clean that off for you, buddy. No, the fisherman has caught a fish. So what does it mean if there's a fish on the hook and then the pelican comes and cleans that hook? What does that mean? Let's see. Does it mean to show how fishermen find fish, to show other birds how to get fish, to take fish away from the fishermen, or to scare other birds away from the fish? What do you think? A, B, C, or D? It is. Yeah. Ooh, those crafty, sneaky pelicans. They are stealing. They are thieves. Stop, thief! They are taking the fish away from the fishermen. So they're sitting and looking and waiting, and they're hungry. And they wait. And when the fisherman finally catches a fish and pulls it out of the water, that's when the pelican jumps into the air, flies down, and grabs the fish off of the fisherman's hook. Because the fisherman's hook had the fish on it, like that type of thing. That doesn't look like I don't know what I'm doing. And then it's been cleaned, meaning that it now does not have anything on it. So it's not really cleaning it, it's actually emptying it, taking it away. 6. Now, this is the last part of our reading today, and there are 2 questions that are somewhat related. So let's see. We need to make sure that we get part 1 right, because if we get part 1 wrong, then the chances are we're probably going to get part 2 wrong as well. So let's really work hard on this one. 6. This question has 2 parts. Answer part 1 and then answer part 2. Part 1. Which description best shows how the first person point... Whoa. This was a... Hang on. Let me say this again. Which description best shows how the first person point of view is used in the poem? Now let's stop and think for a second here. What in the world does that mean? Point of view, the first person point of view. I think it means, and this happens quite a lot in poems, that you have the poet as a character in the poem, and they are talking to us and explaining to us the things that they can see and the things that they are doing. So Which one shows that the narrator is also a character in the story and is telling us all about it? Through a speaker who shares facts about the beach, through a speaker who shares a dream about the beach, through a speaker who shares personal feelings about the beach, through a speaker who shares other people's feelings about the beach. So which one of those shows that the narrator, is a character in the poem and is telling us about all of the things that they can see? A, B, C, or D? What do you think? Yeah, it's C. You're absolutely right. Through a speaker who shares personal feelings about the beach. Now, let's go back and see if we can get some evidence. And one of the things that I want us to notice straight away is that it's first person because look at this. I walked along the lovely beach. Now, that's not the only example, I don't think. Loggerheads. I guess that's it. Hmm. And pass by people. I guess so. Yeah, the person is there, all right, and they are enjoying the beach, and they're explaining to us, so that makes it first person. Okay, which line from the poem best supports the answer in part one? Choose one answer. So, like I said, if we had gotten this one right, we would really be stuck on this. Which line from the poem best supports the answer in part one? So, part one said that this is a poem that is written from a first person point of view because the speaker, sorry, is sharing their personal feelings about the beach. All right. It barely cleared the trees. I walked along the lovely beach, and sandpipers in unison then dive and clean his hook. Which one shows that a person is involved? I'll give you a hint. We just underlined the evidence for it. What? What's that you say? B is the right answer? Well, you're absolutely right. I Walked Along the Beach shows that it is a first person point of view poem. Whew, that's a mouthful, isn't it? My goodness gracious, what a beautiful poem. I hope you have poems that you know and you love. Go and read some poetry right now. Grab that old poem book that you know you've been sitting there for a while. It needs a bit of love. Read some poems. Read them out loud. Remember, poets write poetry because it is meant to be read aloud. All right? Just like Morning on the Beach by Leo J. Molnar. My friends, have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day. Be kind to each other, work hard, and I will see you on Monday after a wonderful weekend. I will see you on Monday on Seesaw. I'm so excited to see your work again, my friends. Miss you. Work hard, be good. I will talk to you soon. See you on Seesaw. All right? Okay. Bye, guys. Bye. Bye.